All right, welcome to the world of business with Garrett Henderson. Our guest today is Emerson Russell. Emerson, I appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. So, just a quick introduction. Emerson's based out of Chattanooga. He's the CEO, founder of ERMC. And if you will, Emerson, could you just give us a quick 2 to 3 minute background on the company?
Yeah, I started ERMC many years ago, and we operated in 38 states, had 8,800 employees, and uh, doing about $150 million in revenue. And I sold it 6 years ago. This
Awesome.
month.
Right. Awesome. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And so to build such a ginormous company, what was your upbringing like, your background per se, growing up?
Well, as a kid, I lived next door to a garage paint and body shop, and the owner of the garage lived in the house between our house and the garage, and he tore it down, and uh, all of the brick that came out of the fireplace and the foundation and off of the house, he paid me a penny a piece to clean the mortar off of the brick. I'm 8 years old, and I'm cleaning those brick with a hatchet,
Yeah.
and I'd clean 600 brick a week going to school, and I'd give my mother $3, and I'd save $1.50, and I'd spend $1.50.
It's awesome. Well, that's great. So you started working on the mortar, and how did you transition into the security and janitorial business and maintenance as well?
Well, uh, going back just a little ways, I was doing uh, paint and body work for the state on the police cars, and I became a police officer for the state, and I got an opportunity to go to Texas A&M Criminal Justice Polygraph School out there, and came back, and I was the polygraphist in the Chattanooga area for the police department. We handled both county and cities polygraph work, and I started doing polygraph work and investigations on the side, and one thing just led to another, and that led me into the security business, and then security business led me into the janitorial, and janitorial led me into um, mechanical maintenance, and then led me into the landscaping business, and uh, from there it just kept going.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, yes, sir. And for a lot of the viewers, they're probably curious. How do you scale from one employee to 8,800 employees? What was the key to that?
Good management, good leadership, and depending on the people and giving the employees the proper tools and the proper training to do their job.
Okay, yes, sir. Absolutely. And if you could talk to your younger self when you were getting started off the ground in your business, what advice would you give your younger self?
Well, I think there's several things that a person going into business, whether you're young or old, is one is do exactly what you say you're going to do, and be honest with your employees and your customers and yourself. You've got to be honest with what you're doing, and treat your employees and your customers uh, real good, and make sure that you take care of both of them, because without the customers you don't need the employees. Without the employees you don't uh, have an opportunity to serve your customers. So it's important to have a good mix there, and make sure that you're keeping a good set of books, and being honest with the government at the same time.
Yes, sir. So I remember one thing that really stands out to me. We've had a relationship for the last 3 to 4 years, and just you mentoring me, you were telling me that you always had an open door policy for your employees, correct?
Absolutely.
And so, do you think by implementing that strategy, it helped build trust or maybe even employee retention?
Well, you can have an open door policy, but you also need to make sure that you're not overstepping your management's decisions and overturning decisions that your management team makes. But you need to make sure that every employee within your organization has an opportunity to voice their concerns, or they have good ideas also. So
Right.
they may come up with a better way of doing things, and they would like to have some of the credit for their ideas. So rather than telling their supervisor or whatever, they want to talk to the person in charge and voice their concerns one way or the other.
Yes, sir. And so when you're looking to hire employees specifically for a managerial position in your company or any of your companies, what are the key attributes, characteristics that you're looking for?
Well, two or three real important issues, in my opinion, is one is, do they know their job? Do they know how to get the job done? And what is their demeanor? How are they going to treat the employees?
Mm-hmm.
And they've got to be educated well enough in whatever position that you're putting them in to be able to train the other employees to perform the job.
Right.
So you want honesty and loyalty out of your management team, but you also want to make sure that they're taking good care of the employees.
Okay. And one question I'm sure the viewers would love to hear, especially me, having such a massive enough company, what was a really big issue you had when you were scaling up, and how did you overcome that?
Well, every company has issues, and in a bigger company, there's plateaus in every company where that, you've got to rebuild your organizational chart to take on additional business going forward. So you got your machine really running and it's oiled real good at this point, and then you've got to take on additional management, etc. So you're going to have to fund that until the additional business comes in to
Right.
justify the existence of that. So you've got to be careful not to grow too fast and grow within your means.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, great. And I wanted to get into the real estate because obviously, in Chattanooga, you own almost everything. You're very big in residential, senior living, commercial. What was your first experience in the real estate industry?
Well, my first experience was in residential, and buying houses and renting them, fixing them up and renting them. And several years ago, I flipped, I think it was 68 houses in 1 year. I would buy bank repos and fix them up and sell them. And I had a team of people that did the repair work, and that's all they did was work on those houses. So from there, I got into the construction side of it and building houses, and then from there I got into doing all of the site work, the sewers and the water and the whole 9 yards in a subdivision, and building the subdivisions from the ground up. And then I started dibbling and dabbling in commercial, and so just a combination of everything.
Okay, well, great. And so, real estate being part of your portfolios, could you give the viewers, a brief lesson on how, like, the tax benefits of real estate and how that helps you tax-wise and cash flow-wise?
I think if I could give anybody any advice, if you've got the finances to where that you can start out small and buy you a rental house and get it paid for, and then move from that to another rental house and do everything you can to get your debt service down, especially to 50% or below, to where that anytime that there's a downturn that you're not going to wind up being upside down in your financing with the banks or whatever. So just be cautious. Don't get out there and be rambunctious and take on a lot more than you financially can handle. But to me, real estate is something that is very solid and has been forever. You're going to have downturns in every operation and in every business. Stock market goes up and down. Real estate, when you have a crash like in '08, the prices went down. But overall, the difference between stock and real estate, in my opinion, is that at the end of the day, you still have a piece of property that you own. If the stock goes down to zero and you lose it, then you've got a piece of paper that's worth nothing. And so you've got to put your money where that you feel comfortable. And I've always felt comfortable in investing in real estate and done fairly well over the years with it.
Okay. And I know you've told me, you see a lot of real estate owners syndicating groups, REITs. They buy all these fancy A-class apartments, commercial real estate spaces. But one thing you've taught me as my mentor is that the pound for pound, the returns you're going to get on buying cheaper houses, smaller houses, apartments. Could you explain that a little bit?
Well, yes. The easiest way to explain it, probably real quick, would be, if you have a $100,000 house and you're renting it for say $1,000 a month, you've got a $400,000 or $500,000 house and you're renting it for $2,500 a month. Well, if you had four $100,000 houses, now you've got $4,000 a month coming in versus $2,000 to $2,500 a month.
Right.
So more headaches. But here again, if one of those $100,000 houses, the tenants move out, now you're only short $1,000 on your monthly income. If the tenant moves out on that $400,000 house, now you're short $2,400 a month.
Right.
So,
yes, sir.
It's a numbers game as far as when you're looking at it from a financial standpoint, which is better. There's less headaches and renting to someone for $2,400. But yet on the other hand, it's like the stock market. Without some what's the word I'm trying to find here is you've got to have a good side both ways.
Yes, sir. And so you are active in the stock market as well, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I am a finance guy. I got a background in real estate. I think they're both great tools to get where you want to get.
Both have their place.
They both do, absolutely. There's ways to avoid taxes, both routes. There's ways to, you can invest into real estate in a REIT in the stock market. That's an option. And then you have the S&P 500. You can mirror that index and get, you can spread your money over 500 of the biggest companies in America. So there's just different ways to do it.
It's a matter if you want somebody else managing your money or if you want to manage it yourself. I've tried to do both, balance it where that you're not overloaded either way.
And it goes back to, like you said, of just having great people around you to be able to manage that. Because when you're the CEO of a company with 8,800 employees and you're also doing all of this real estate, that's when having great people around you comes in as a major factor.
Yeah.
So
You know better than the people you surround yourself with.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
And you know, one major mistake that a lot of people, in my opinion, make in business is they won't hire people that are smarter than them.
Mm-hmm.
More especially your management team. A lot of time, if you're leaving it up to them, they don't want to hire somebody that's a whole lot smarter than they are in their field. But that's the wrong way of looking at things. I always want to hire somebody that has a whole lot more uh, in-depth study of it than what I do, to where that they can bring new ideas and new innovative ways of doing things. And the smarter you hire, the better your company is.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. I do have some experience in with real estate in the corporate world and finance, and that's definitely something I've seen. Some people I've seen people afraid to hire someone who they may perceive as better than them.
Yeah,
But
they're
to,
afraid they'll take their job.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's something I've had to experience and learn some lessons along the way. And but how do you for you to rise to the level that you have risen? You've had to sacrifice, you've had to let go of your ego and build others up. So how are you able to do that
Well,
and be a good leader?
it's all about them, not all about you. And,
Right.
and you know, one of my biggest themes in my company was teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
There's no I in teamwork.
Right.
Teamwork works when everybody's together.
Yes, sir.
But if it's all about, I did this, I did that, then you're not giving the people the credit that actually did the work.
100%.
It's teamwork that makes things come together. The leader has got to be able to get the right people in the right positions to make the operations come together
Right.
and make it work. But let them do their job and give them the credit for doing an outstanding job. And one thing that I always try to do in my companies is I try to make the people feel like they're part of the company and they're part of the family, the ERMC family.
Yes, sir.
Because without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
No doubt. So really, just to sum it up, you want to make people feel special, part of a family, a bigger picture. Right. You want to give them the credit, correct?
Absolutely.
I completely agree with you. I think that's the best way to do it, because especially high achievers. If you're a high achiever, you're not going to want to work for somebody who's going to take all of your credit.
Yeah.
And especially, you have a lot of experience, and it seems like this generation now, it's harder to find good employees like that.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Well, every generation is different, and you've got achievers out of every generation. It's a matter of surrounding yourself with the achievers that is going to help propel you to that next level too.
Right.
If you surround yourself with people that are no-sayers, as I call them, they don't want to do anything, well then you're not going to accomplish a whole lot. But if you surround yourself with good people, go-getters, and you help motivate them and protect them, and people's going to make mistakes.
Right.
It's a matter of how you deal with those mistakes, and don't humiliate them in the process. Build them up in their mistakes and show them how not to make that mistake next time around.
Yes, sir. Okay. And I want to stay on the real estate as well. So for the viewers, we're at Redstone Estates, a senior living facility in Chattanooga. Marcus, we're going to get a picture of that here in a minute on the screen. Could you explain what went into the idea of Redstone Estates? Because you built this from the ground up.
Oh yeah.
It's an amazing property.
Well, it's 92 units, and it's got a full kitchen, full living facilities, and it's got kitchens in every room, but they can go to the cafeteria for lunch or dinner. We don't serve breakfast, but now they do offer breakfast during lunch and dinner. But your family can come in and eat just like any other restaurant in Chattanooga and pay for it, or you can charge it to your room, either way you want to do it. But getting back to your question, what enticed me into building this was I looked at buying a senior housing complex, and just couldn't make the numbers work as to what they were wanting. And I looked at it, it was old, it was antiquated, and I thought, this older generation really deserves more than what they're getting at this place. And if I buy this, I'm going to wind up spending millions of dollars to upgrade it to what I want the place to look like. And I couldn't make the numbers work, so I didn't buy it, and wound up hiring a lady that had been in the business for a long time, and we worked for about a year and a half, 2 years designing redstone and getting it built, and it's in my opinion one of the nicest senior complexes in the whole Chattanooga area.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You've done a phenomenal job. You have the kitchen, the chef, you have the out there where you can eat. The units are great views too from the balconies.
And we clean their rooms once a week, just like if you was at a hotel. We come around, clean your room, and we've got 2 dog runs, got a fireplace built out back, and it's a non-smoking facility, but I built a pavilion out back where that they can go out there and smoke if they want to smoke, and try to make it more customer friendly than most senior housing complexes.
Okay. Yes, sir. And it's really become a gathering place too for outside groups, right? I believe there's some political parties that meet here once a month and different things like that. So that's awesome.
We've tried to make it where that the community is involved with it.
Yes, sir.
And we've got a bus, and if we take them on tours and different things on a weekly basis. They can sign up to go to different places and do different things.
Yes, sir. Well, great. Well, I appreciate you hosting us and allowing us to do the podcast here with you.
Well, I'm very proud of you and how you've conducted yourself over the years, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you and spend some time with you. And you want to tell the people on the podcast what you did this morning?
Yes, sir. So Emerson was gracious enough to invite us out to out towards. We were close to Trenton, correct? It was
in Wildwood, Georgia.
In Wildwood, Georgia, yes, sir. And we were able to shoot some World War II machine guns. So that was quite the experience. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And just shout out to Marcus running the tech. He came out with us and he hit the targets a lot better than me. I'll say that.
Well, that's the engineer in him.
Yeah, right.
He's got to be precise.
He's got the calculator in his head. I was just letting him fly.
Yeah, it didn't take you long to shoot it up.
Oh man, the bullets were gone when I touched the trigger.
Well, I'm glad y'all had a good time, and
yes,
I appreciate y'all coming up and doing this podcast. It's been a pleasure, and if I can ever help you in any way in the Chattanooga area, all you have to do is call me. And any of your viewers out there, if they're ever up this way and need anything, you happy to pass my telephone number on to them.
All right, yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it. It was great
Yes,
having
sir.
you on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.